So we all know the theory that baby Daniel's dad is from the Yamazaki clan, which is why he has UI. But what if I told you that's not the case? You see, it's widely believed in the community that Daniel's dad is from the Yamazaki clan and that's why he has UI. That is also the main reason why we always say that Daniel and Gun are cousins. I don't believe that's the case. Well, I still believe that Daniel and Gun are cousins, but I believe they are cousins because of Su Ming, not because of Daniel's dad. Which would naturally lead to the next question: if Daniel's dad is not from the Yamazaki clan, how does he have UI? And the answer to that is very simple. He was just born with it. You see, I actually believe that little Daniel, and Big Daniel by extent, is a legend of his bloodline. You're probably looking at the screen like I'm just talking out of my ass, but it's not actually that impossible. For example, the entire second generations are just legends of their bloodline. A good example of this would be Zack and Vosco, because from what we know, both their parents aren't strong or anything important, but yet they have incredibly high potential, they're incredibly strong, and they have incredible growth rates. I think the best example of this is Samuel Seo, because if you don't remember, Samuel's dad is an AC repairman and his mother is seemingly a drug addict. There is nothing special about his bloodline, but yet he can keep up Gapyeong Kim's son. The difference between Johan being a legend of his bloodline and the three I just named being a legend of their bloodline is that Johan became a legend through a particular trait he developed, which is the copy technique. Hell, we even see this being a very realistic possibility both within the Hunt for Gun and the current Shiro Oni arc. Because even though Shingen, Gun, and Shintaro is born with a particular trait, which is UI, Shingen and Gun both has this green-eyed version of UI. This trait is only unique to Shingen and his bloodline, because Gun has it, but Shintaro isn't shown to have it, nor is Shinji. So he developed a trait that only his children and his descendants will have, just like how a legend does. If you become a legend of your bloodline, your children will inherit your unique traits. You see, I made a video a week or two ago about how I talk about how Haruto is not a fitting leader for the Yamazaki clan simply because he would just go insane like the other Yamazakis. And I talk about how Gun's a much more fitting leader because he seemingly just doesn't have that curse. I was wrong, because to be more exact, it's more like Shingen and Gun can keep that curse at bay. And Gapyeong Kim backs this up by saying that violence is the nature of the Yamazakis, which is the reason why Shingen typically fights alone when he's about to go all out. He's about to let his nature just take over and become a violent sociopath. But when he's fighting with others, he can keep that violent side of him at bay. In contrast to Shintaro, who's letting his violent nature just run freely and take control. We have direct confirmation that Shingen has a unique trait to his UI and the rare ability to just keep his curse that makes him a violent sociopath at bay, something that carries down to Gun. So Daniel being born in UI isn't that far of a stretch because we see that Shingen has added a trait to his bloodline. Why can't Daniel? And I also do have proof that Daniel isn't related to the Yamazakis because he's born without the Yamazaki's curse, with someone who is related to the Yamazaki clan. Gukja's mother specifically stopped Gukja from fighting to inhibit this curse from developing. And if we were to take the context around this conversation that Gukja's mother had with her husband, then Daniel should have been acting like a Yamazaki since hostile. But no, he's still the kind, sweet, lovable Daniel that we know. The only excuse you could use for Daniel having UI is that only the Yamazaki clan has it, but that's kind of a weird outlier because there are 6 different UI users in the PTJ verse that we know of. And only 4 of them are related, which is Johan Sung and Haru Sung, who are related, and Jin Young Park and Daniel Park, who are also related. So other UI users existing in the series isn't that far off as an idea, because I think it was all the way back in the Hostel arc or the versus gunfight that we actually figured out that there are recorded incidents of people going into UI, particularly in the UFC fights. The only reason why we see mostly Yamazaki members having UI is because they're the most relevant. It makes sense for their bloodline to mainly have UI because they're a bloodline of a bunch of battle-hungry psychopaths. God himself even explains that if you're focused on a fight so hard, you can actually enter the state of unconscious, which is UI. So a bloodline who is just battle-hungry and crazy will of course constantly be awakening UI because that is how the bloodline is. It's the best fitted for UI. That's all I really had to say for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and comment and tell me any theories you have on it. Or if you even have any theories, make a video and just tag me in it, because if you hasn't tell, I really do like making theories and reading theories. Other than that, have a great day.